It's not about your significance. It's not about my significance. It's not about any human being's significance. It's about God's significance. And God uses regular people. He uses ordinary people to do extraordinary things. That's what God does. He's in the business of doing that. Listen, do you still believe that the Bible is a book of exceptions? Is that what you believe? Do you still think the Bible is a book of exceptions? God can use that person. God can use that church. God can use that organization, but he can't use me, can't use my church. That's the problem in our country. All of us are looking around and saying, well, God's doing something over there. Have you heard God's going to do something over there? And in the meantime, what about over here? I want to read about God doing something over there, about God moving in somebody else's life when God could use in my life, when the only obstacle between God moving in my life and God moving in my church could be my life and my church. Be careful you don't limit what God has not limited. There are only two limiting factors on your life, the ones that God puts on you. Nobody can change the limits that God puts on you. Nobody. There are limits that God puts on us. But oftentimes it's not God limiting us, it's us limiting God. You do not have authority to limit what God hasn't. Have you really been pushing the envelope? Have you really taken the lid off of what you are capable of in terms of what you can do for God? You, not your wife, not your husband, not your children, not your parents, not your pastor. You. Have you stopped trusting God to use you powerfully, significantly, in a transformative way? Have you started living in yesterday? Are you living your life on cruise control? Autopilot? Autopilot doesn't work out well for anybody who professes to be a Christ follower. You'll get yourself in a mess time after time. This is not the time to tune out and just detach from what's happening. You need to be thinking deeply about your life. You need to be thinking deeply about what's happening in your family, what's happening at your workplace, what's happening in the nation. And then if you're thinking deeply and you're really committed to walking with God, you won't just end there thinking deeply. You will know that there are action steps that you need to take. Action steps that you need to take you from where you are to where God wants you to be. That's what it's about. You are not yet experiencing all that God has for you. Not yet. If you check out and you're on cruise control, you're on autopilot. That's not biblical. That's not God honoring. There is nobody in the Bible who was honored, nobody who's commended for sitting down and disqualifying themselves while God was calling them to get off the bench. Supposed to be focused on the agenda of Jesus Christ. Supposed to be hungry on fulfilling and advancing the agenda of Jesus Christ. Supposed to have a definite action plan. Well, how am I going to take what God is putting into my life, the circumstances that he's taking? How am I going to cause all things to cooperate with him? How am I going to point everything to him, focus everything toward him? You're going to need sages. You're going to need sojourners. You're going to need an encouraging community. You absolutely can be somebody who is used by God mightily and powerfully, significantly above and beyond your wildest dreams, that you can dust off those dreams that you at one time had.